Hello and welcome to the first edition of News Across Nigeria for the week. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Coming up on the program, President Muhammadu Buhari to recontest the presidency in 2019. Benue police arraigned suspects believed to be involved in the killing of herdsmen. And the Cross River State government encourages more youth to embrace agriculture, promising job opportunities through the Rice City project. More jobs in Cross River State, so says the state government. Before we get to that story, this story affects all Nigerians across all the states. President Muhammadu Buhari has declared his intention to recontest the presidency in 2019. He made his intention known during a meeting of the APC National Executive Committee in Abuja. While that meeting was going on, his personal on social media, Bashir Ahmad, who announced the declaration on his Twitter handle, but the promise to give further details was followed by another tweet by the governor of Benue State, Nat'l, confirming the announcement. The formal briefing to journalists was made by the Plateau State governor, Simon Lalong.
To a point where the president felt so happy and excited that because of this reunion and because of this unity in the party, he will now consider and also accept the recommendations or the appeals by several members of the society, the party, and everybody that he contest this election. And she accepted that he's going to contest. He's going to contest again as the for the position of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Now, apart from the President's declaration of his intention to seek a rerun in 2019 at the NEC meeting, he's also insisting that the tenure of the present National Executive Council of the APC is over and their present occupation of the seat is illegal. He's also asking the current executives to feel free to vie for elective positions in the party if they so desire, in line with the party's constitution. The party's executives also ratified the recommendation of the technical committee, which reviewed the tenure allegation controversy rocking the party, and they concluded that the party should conduct elections for national and state executive officers. A few weeks ago, President Muhammadu Buhari had raised an alarm on the elongation of the tenure of the party executives, noting that if the situation is not amended, the party may face legal battles. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has paid a condolence visit to Offa in Kwara State over last week's bank robbery that led to the death of about 30 people. The minister, who visited the palace of the traditional ruler of Offa, promised that the perpetrators of the crime will be made to face the full wrath of the law. The traditional ruler of Offa, however, pleaded with him to speak with the government to provide 2 armored personnel carriers for the ancient town instead of only 1 being proposed.
The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, is in Kwara State to commiserate with the people over last Thursday's robbery attack on 5 banks in Offa town, where about 30 people were killed.
We want to condole with them on the very unfortunate incident and also to give them a message of hope and assurance that the federal government would continue to do its best to ensure the sanctity, security of lives and property.
His first port of call is the government house, where he met with Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed. The governor, who is obviously worried about the recent security breach in the state, calls for collaboration between the police and other security agencies in the state.
We are truly in challenging times, and this is not the time to begin blame games. This is the time for all hands to be on deck. We recognize the shortfalls and we'll try to see whatever we can on our own side as a government, on the side of other security agencies, to strengthen the security arrangement to give us a better secured environment.
Next is the palace of the traditional ruler of the land, where the minister asked the people of the community not to let their spirit of entrepreneurship be dampened by the unfortunate incident in order not to allow the criminals have the last laugh. The traditional ruler of the land, Oba Mufutau Badamosi, wants the federal government to help provide more armored personnel carriers to the town instead of just one being proposed by the Inspector General of Police. The minister also visited some of the survivors of the robbery attack receiving treatment at the State General Hospital before going to the State Police headquarters, where the Commissioner of Police gave him the assurance that the incident will not affect the performance of the police in the discharge of their duties.
Even though it is a very unpleasant situation, we have lost some of our officers, but by the grace of God, we will continue to work very hard for our fatherland and for the community and humanity.
The Inspector General of Police has dispatched a special squad to the state to forestall a repeat of the incident, but residents of Kwara State and Nigerians as a whole are hoping that the hoodlums will be apprehended to face justice.
To Plateau State now, where tragedy has again struck as 5 persons have been reported killed and 3 others injured at Inding village in Barakinladi local government area. The spokesman of the Nigeria police in the state confirmed this to Channels Television, adding that details of the incident which occurred last night are still sketchy. Plateau State, which had for some time enjoyed relative peace, has recently been hit by a series of attacks mainly perpetrated by suspected herdsmen, resulting in the death of several persons. Bassa, Bokos and Barkinladi local government areas have been mostly affected by the attacks, some of which occurred during a recent visit by President Muhammadu Buhari to the north-central state. Meanwhile, the Benue State Police Command has arraigned 28 persons allegedly involved in the killing of 10 herdsmen on Saturday along Yelwata village of Guma Local Government Council. Counsel to the complainants, Mr. Tijani Ahmed, while speaking to Channels Television at the Magistrate Court in Makurdi, tasked the police to conclude its investigation and allow timely determination of the case, which was adjourned to the 24th of April for mentioning. Speaking for the prosecution, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Fatayo Wosheni, says the arraignment is to serve as a deterrent to any group or persons or bandits who would contemplate the act of criminality of any kind in Benue State.
The accused person applied for oral application, with the magistrate declined jurisdiction, and therefore she ordered for their remand before Makurdi prison. And that is what happened in court today. We took a date, 24th day, for further mention, and the prosecution in the matter said investigation into this matter is still in progress. So we are hoping and we are praying that the investigation should conclude immediately, so that this matter can be tried within reasonable time.
The 28 persons that were arraigned in court this morning were indirectly and directly connected with the incident, and we are using this to pass a message to criminal elements, to bandits, whichever way. I've always emphasized that there is no coloration when it comes to crime and criminals. That whoever, no matter whichever side of the divide, that has capitalized on the situation in the state to get involved in any criminality, the law will take its course on them.
We'll have a quick recess, and when we come back on News Across Nigeria, we'll bring you news from the Northeast and Benue State and the plight of some internally displaced persons. Please stay with us.